Hello, my name is Lilian Okibe. Welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys tips that will help you care for your locks if you work out a lot, or if you have a very active job that means that you get to sweat a lot. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then please keep on watching. The first thing you need to do, if you go to the gym and if you have locks, is that anytime you go to the gym, you want to try as much as you can to cover your locks. You want to cover your locks with something that is light, that air can still, penetrate into your locks even as you work out, but like your locks are not going to be rubbing against surfaces. Because if you're someone who uses public gyms and when you work out, if you use all those equipment, or even if you do like maybe Pilates and things like that require you to lay down or like rub your locks on against surfaces, chances are that as your locks are rubbing against surfaces, your locks are rubbing against and like wiping off people's fluids. And if you actually think about it, that's not actually hygienic. So if you're someone who, after you go to the gym, obviously if you're watching this video, then there's a high chance that you don't want to be washing your locks every time you go to the gym. So yeah, if you're not going to be washing your locks every time you go to the gym, it's not actually hygienic to be allowing your locks to just like catch all the fluids and all the things like that from other people's bodies, because you don't know what is happening with them, right? So I highly recommend that you cover your locks with something light. Now what I recommend for this is scarves. Like, you don't have to cover all your locks. Like, you can put something that will just like put your locks in kind of like a pineapple, such that it is up. It may touch your face and all the lights, but it's not like directly down such that it's rubbing against surfaces. Even if you're working out at home, if you find that you do those kinds of activities that require you to lie down, it's nicer to just have your locks out of the way, so that no matter where you're laying down, if there's dust there or whatever, like, you are free from worrying about your locks picking up dust and dirt and lint and things like that, when you work out. Now the next tip that will help you to care for your locks if you work out or if you are active in general is you want to be on a wash schedule. If you're someone who sweats a lot, or if you go to the gym, if you work out a lot, or if you have a job that requires you to sweat a lot, you cannot afford to not wash your locks often. Like, you cannot afford to be washing your locks once a month or every 2 months or every 6 months, because if you do that, your hair is going to be smelling really, really bad. The thing is, when your hair is dirty, it smells more, or it starts to smell when you get sweat, So you want to try as much as you can to be on a wash schedule. I recommend washing like once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, but you don't want to really go over like 3 weeks and a month or like 2 months without washing your locks if you work out a lot or if you sweat a lot. Now another thing that can help if you work out a lot, if you work out multiple times a week, is you want to, instead of washing your locks, like sometimes when you go out, when you go to the gym, when you sweat and everything like that, you feel dirty, you feel at times like that. Instead of going ahead to like wash your locks with a shampoo, and if you do that too often, this can dry out your hair, this can dry out your locks. What you can do is just do like a plain water rinse. You can rinse your locks with plain water. This is going to help to rinse off all the sweat and help you feel cleaner without drying out your locks. Now another tip that will help you if you work out a lot is you want to make sure that every time you come back from the gym, go under the fan. I know that I say this all the time, but I cannot overemphasize how helpful fans can be, especially the standing fans, because you have the freedom to bring it as close to you as possible. So every time you come back from the gym, whether you wash your locks or not, or whether you rinse your locks or not, every time you come from the gym, as long as your hair is damp, like your scalp is like damp or like wet or whatever, go close to the fan, open up your locks, scatter it. You can put it up in like little pops just to spread out the locks so that the air gets deep into your scalp, right? Open up your locks and make sure it dries thoroughly after you sweat. I find that if you always dry your locks thoroughly after you sweat, you will notice that you'll be able to go longer without washing your locks and still have your locks smelling fresh. Like, if you've not tried this before, I highly recommend that you give it a try. every time you come back from the gym, make sure you dry your locks properly. And even after, if you come back from the gym and you follow the tip I shared previously about like rinsing your locks with plain water, what you want to do is every time you rinse with plain water, make sure you come back and make sure that you dry your locks properly. What I recommend is a fan, because personally for me, when I use hair dryers, it irritates my scalp, you know. So you want to make sure that you dry your locks properly. This is going to help your locks smell fresh for longer, even if you do not wash, right? And I think what many people do not, people look at sweat when they work out and things like that as like a headache. But the thing is, when you sweat, it actually helps to distribute the sebum from your scalp all over your locks, and this can actually help to make your locks feel like more lubricated and like more juicy longer, because there's no oil, there's no products that can duplicate or like that is as good for your hair, let me put it that way, as your natural sebum, as the sebum that your scalp produces. So when you sweat, when you go out, when you work out, it helps your scalp to produce sebum. And when you go ahead and rinse your locks after you have gone to the gym, or even if you don't rinse your locks, basically the sweat and everything helps to distribute that sebum all over your scalp and a little down the length of the locks as well, and this can help your locks feel nicer and feel more moisturized. So I highly recommend that if you work out, don't look at you going to the gym and you sweating as a problem or like as something that is a negative thing, because it actually has benefits for your locks. If your locks are still very, very short, then you can afford to wash your locks with like a shampoo or whatever every time you go to the gym. If you like, let's say you have a very active job and you sweat every single day, if your locks are still very short, you can actually afford to wash your locks every single day, or like rinse your locks with plain water every single day. But as your locks get longer, this not actually, because as your locks get longer, there's a high chance that it's going to get thicker, and so it's not actually feasible to be washing every time, because there's a high chance that your locks will not dry every single time if you're washing or if you're wetting every single day. So you can follow all these tips I've shared, and it's going to help you a great deal. So with that, we'll come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if this is your first time on my channel and you'd like to see more videos from me, then definitely subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video.